What's up, guys? Welcome to Agents Rock. I'm here with my podcast co-host, Melissa Gonzalez, who is not as good of a real estate agent as I am. I'm just joking. She's great. We got a great topic today, CRM. Not something you're excited about, but something that I'm excited about because I know how important CRM is to the inner workings of a real estate agent's daily life. But let's talk about it, right? For newer people out there, newer agents, CRM is just simply customer relationship management system. Real estate agents should use it. Many don't. And that's because there's so many of them out there. And that's kind of the purpose of what we're doing today in this podcast is kind of singling out which ones are really good and which ones are meant for you. Some are more intricate than others. Some are more sophisticated in terms of the functionality and what their capabilities are. And it all depends on where you're at in your juncture of your business, your real estate career. And based on that, that's how you kind of choose what CRM is going to fit your business at that current moment. And I promise you, if you're brand new, the CRM that you're going to use today is going to be a lot different than the one you're going to use in the next 2 to 3 years, or even sooner than that. So, Mel, do you have a CRM? I knew the answer to the question. So.
Kinda. I don't use like one specific CRM. I kind of use like a bunch of different things. I do use Monday, which is inexpensive, but it doesn't really do that much.
When you say inexpensive, what cost?
It's like $60.
Okay, well, for some
$60 a month. But I like Monday because you can kind of make it what you want, right? Mm-hmm. Which you actually helped me with that in the very beginning, and I kind of just stuck with it. So basically, I use Monday, and I put all my clients in there, all my buyers, all my sellers, and I give them categories.
You need Monday.com for 2 buyers and sellers?
No. I put my 2 buyers on Tuesday.com. So... You get it? Tuesday.
I get it.
So I do use Monday. Monday kind of helps me. It's more like a transaction
management.
Yeah, because then once the buyer, goes under contract or the seller goes under contract, it reminds me, okay, you have to apply for the CO. Okay, you have inspection on this date, right? So it's good for that. But then I also use Outbound Engine, and I use Outbound Engine for staying top of mind, and I put everybody in there.
It's like a newsletter type of platform.
Yeah, it's like a newsletter that gets sent out every 2 weeks, and it posts to my Facebook, my LinkedIn. I don't have a LinkedIn to my Instagram, but it posts on my social media platforms, and it sends out to anybody that I put in the system. So I think I have like 200 contacts in there, but it's past clients as well, and also potential clients that I think would benefit. What I really like about that is that it sends it out for me automatically, and some of the articles are really good, and they actually think that I write them. And then I can see...
Until they actually meet you and they know that. There's no way you write anything.
And then they can see, and then I can see, who's clicking.
Who's clicking, who's opening it.
Right, who's interacting, and I'll get notifications that says...
So customer behavior is being
tracked, yeah.
Which is good.
Which is nice, because then I'll get a... I thought you were trying to tell me something. I'll get like a notification that, I don't know, Bob Smith, he's a hot lead right now. He's been clicking on your links, the last 5 articles that you sent.
Does it help with your business right now?
Yeah.
Like, do you feel that there's some benefits to it?
Yeah. So interesting enough, I actually was on Outbound Engine, and I saw that one of my past buyers was very actively engaged. Mm-hmm. And I didn't reach out to her right away. And then she ended up reaching out to me saying that she was thinking about selling the place that I had sold her. Mm-hmm. I think it has, because obviously if you're clicking on the articles and you're reading them, then, something's going on, right? Maybe you're thinking about selling or you're buying, right? And like I said, I like it because I just stay top of mind.
And that's one of the major benefits, right? I think the top 3 benefits of having a CRM is staying top of mind, helping you in terms of efficiency, right? Because if you had to do this manually, this would take hours and hours of your day.
Well, and here's the thing. So I also have Zillow, which
Can I say my third benefit from
No. So, and here's the thing. I mean, Zillow is also kind of like a CRM
No, they
itself,
have a CRM
right?
platform, which is free.
But what I don't like about Monday, where this is why, it's very like base entry, right? It's like basic. Doesn't like import any of my leads from any other platform. Gotcha. So I have to manually put them in there.
I'm going to call the CEO of Monday.com and tell him that you're complaining. Charge it another extra $20 a month. Yeah, so that's that's the whole point of today. Like, there's hundreds of CRMs, like
Yeah.
literally hundreds of CRMs. Which one's the best for you? It all depends on where you're at in your business. What are you looking to do? How intricate do you want it to be? Some of them are very intricate. I used to be on Top Producer many, many moons ago when I first got into the business. I know you're going to say 30 years ago, but 2006 or 7 when I actually became a real estate agent. And it was so complicated that I felt like I was lost. I was like, wait a minute, I don't need this. This is too complicated. I need something a lot more simple, right? I needed to do certain things, but I needed to be more simple. So there's a lot of CRMs out there that do a lot of things, right? You can customize it. There are CRMs very similar to like Outbound Engine that is very simple, and it does 2 or 3, 4 automations, and that's it, right? It's all based on what you want it to do.
Yeah. I mean, like I've explored other ones, right? Like Follow Up Boss is a really popular one.
Yeah.
But I find that a lot of the CRMs, like the good ones, right? They're good. I know that they're good, but I think they're like almost like overwhelming for me.
Yeah.
And like too stimulating. I don't know. But I have to.
And you can't get overstimulated because your brain, the way it works.
Yeah. No, I can't. It's
but
much.
look,
I'm already
But
overstimulated.
what you just said, a lot of agents feel the same way. Like I'm already in a very complicated industry. I don't need to complicate what I'm doing already, day to day by getting a CRM that's way too complicated for me, where I got to hire somebody and now it's going to cost me money and maybe it's not bringing in the revenue that I thought it would. So the ROI is going to be negative rather than positive.
Right. Well, and so for me, one of the reasons why I actually wanted to use Outbound Engine specifically.
Because I told you about it.
Well, no, it's not. Okay, fine, Mike.
Who told you about it?
You told me about it.
I told you about it.
But it's aside from you telling me about it, I like the idea of it because I find that as agents, we don't stay in touch with our past clients. So Outbound Engine, I specifically use to stay top of mind for my past clients so they don't forget about me. Yes, I still call them and stuff, but this is like every 2 weeks they're getting something from me.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
And they don't know that it's automated.
Exactly.
Well, most people don't.
Right. They don't know. So it's just an easy way for me to stay on top of my past clients.
Yeah. They think Melissa's in a computer like this. Hey, John, it's me. I haven't spoken to you in a long time. Here's a newsletter.
They're very nice. You should actually pull it up to show them.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a client, I had a client a while back, a long time ago, go, oh, you're up very early. She was getting my stuff like at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, no.
From GSMLS.
Yes.
So she
it
thought.
still happens.
Yeah. So she thought that I was up early like every week. She's like, you get up so early to work. And I'm like, what is she talking about? She's like, oh,
Yeah.
it's a GSMLS.
Is there a way to change that?
There is, the frequency at the time. So I remember I was like, oh, she's talking about GSMLS. She's getting those listings automatically.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, I am. Yes, I am. I don't got kids right now. I could be up early.
Oh my God. I know it's true. They send out very early. How do I change that?
You got to go in there. Anyway, back to CRMs, and you know what? That, believe it or not, I didn't discuss that the other day at our training, but you can use your MLS as a CRM.
Well, and here's the thing. That's why I'm saying I use different things. I don't use one specific platform for everything. I have a bunch of different things like Monday, Outbound Engine, and then my MLS. Any client that I come in contact with, I just set them up on auto email.
Gotcha.
Right? But I have to do that on the MLS. Yeah. Right?
And the cool thing with MLS is that you can put them on an auto email, and it doesn't matter if they're a client that already bought a house. Like everybody wants to know what their house is worth, right?
Yeah.
Not just now, but in the future. So they like to get that sort of stuff, right? And and you're right. Top of mind, right? Working efficiently, so that way you're delegating stuff, and you're leveraging technology, and then the other part to CRM is really, generating leads, right? And squeezing as much as you can, and which means increasing revenue. Those are the top 3 reasons to have a CRM. And look, all CRMs really accomplish all 3. Right? It all depends on how much revenue you want to make, right? How efficient you really want to be with your time, and how top of mind you want to be. Because some CRMs are so intricate that you can have it where it will send out a text message, it'll send out a social media post, it'll send out an email as often as you want it to do, right? That's how complicated they are, and and very sophisticated. But those, cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that, and obviously the budget that you're going to allocate to your CRM is solely your discretion. It's, if you're brand new and you don't have a big budget, you can have a CRM for free. There are some out there, like you mentioned, Zillow. Zillow doesn't do the automations, but here's what I love about Zillow. How many people are on Zillow as a buyer? Like if you're a lead right now or a buyer, I would say 9 out of 10.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So with Zillow, their platform, right? on the Premier app, which is the app for real estate agents, right, versus the consumer-facing app, it actually allows you to send your client a link so they can claim you as their real estate agent. And now you get to see everything they're seeing, everything they're favoring, right? So they don't know that.
Right.
You could literally call them, hey, I just saw a new property came on the market,
right,
and you just saw them favorite 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
They have no idea. You're like, and they're like, oh my God, you know, what's going on? They know what we really like.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they have no idea.
She's in my brain.
Yeah, they have no idea. It's like you guys are synced. But, you know, so the Zillow platform, I think, is great for that, right? It doesn't do anything complicated. It's very simple. And if that's what you want, that's what you want. And it doesn't matter. Like if you're working at brokerage XYZ and you go to brokerage ABC, the Zillow Premier app goes with you everywhere you go. I am against using CRMs that are being provided by brokerages, because if you leave that brokerage, and here's the reality, most agents end up leaving a brokerage, right? Whether it's in 3 years, whether it's in a year, whether it's in 5, whether it's in 10, they do. They really do, especially if you're new into the industry. So you don't want the brokerage to provide you with a CRM, because I'm going to give you what happened to me, right? My experience. I'm not going to mention the brokerage, but it's a very big one. And I had well over 500 contacts in my CRM. Well, they locked me out of my CRM. I couldn't retrieve none of the information.
That
I was lucky.
sucks.
I know I was lucky that I put a lot of that information on GSMLS, right? So I had their information there. And they actually assigned my leads to 2 other agents. And those agents were calling within 48 hours after I left. I didn't get fired from the brokerage. I chose to leave. It wasn't the right fit for me at that point anymore, right? And they did a great job, you know, in terms of training me and educating me. But I just thought that was unfair, because
They're your leads.
They were my leads. They weren't leads that the brokerage provided me. They were all mine. So when I left, I was like, this is not fair. Like, this shouldn't be happening. If you have your own CRM, that will
won't
never happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
No, I
that
agree
will
with
never
that.
happen. Except for Melissa, if she ever left, I have all her passwords, so I'll take all her leads.
Oh my God.
That's like our favorite thing to do, Chris and Joe.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So CRMs, right? You know, a lot of people want to know, like, oh, what is it? You know, what does this really stand for? You know, stuff like that. So look, guys, it's just.
I think it's necessary, though. I think you need to have some sort of a CRM, whether or not it's very, you know, simple, or you can make it as intricate as you want, right? As sophisticated as you want. You need something.
Yeah.
When I first started, I didn't have one, right? Now I kind of have like a bunch of different ones, but that, whatever. I guess my CRM when I first started was an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but that is like, in a way, you know,
I
some
guess you can call it, if you can.
You're just keeping track of your leads. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to do something, is my point.
Yeah. But remember, a CRM is client or customer relationship management system, right? So just because you're putting something on a spreadsheet, you know, what's the relationship? Are you building it? Are you nurturing? So yeah, a real CRM is going to do that. That's really the purpose. And you mentioned before, you can't stay top of mind with your clients if you put it in a spreadsheet. But if you build out a CRM, right, whether it's Monday.com or Zillow, whatever the case may be, if you build out a CRM, a sophisticated one where your client or your lead or your customer is getting some sort of correspondence from you, whether it be an email or a text, that is nurturing that lead, right? To the point when they are ready to make a decision on whether or not they're going to buy or sell, they're going to contact you. Or some people are never going to be ready to buy. Some people are never going to sell. They're never going to sell.
Somebody else.
Exactly. But they can refer you business. And I still believe that you should be top of mind, because if you have that relationship with that person, right, then you have to be able to provide something. You have to keep on nurturing, maintaining that relationship, right? You have to make that person special, right? It isn't about just taking. It's about giving back as well, making people feel that you're genuinely interested in them. And you must feel genuinely interested in that client, right? Yeah, that's important, right? Especially for the experience journey.
Yeah.
Right. So for those out there who don't know what a CRM, it's just a customer relationship management system that helps manage all communications with both leads and clients, right? Your past clients, obviously. CRM tools are becoming, very intricate and very important to the inner workings of a real estate agent, which the number one being, is efficiency and obviously staying top of mind and, creating revenue or building revenue as much as possible. So let's talk about some of the CRMs that are out there right now, because in my opinion, that's important. It could be very overwhelming for a new agent. And guess what? It isn't just new agents. I know agents that have been in the business for 10 years that have done over 100 transactions. They still don't have a CRM, right? Because their search for one that fits just became very convoluted and very, very, strenuous in the sense that, it's very hard to pick which one is the right one.
Because there's so many out there.
Yeah. There's literally hundreds. Just Google it, like CRMs for real estate agents.
And nobody knows what's good, what's not, because they're all a little bit different. And I think taking the time to actually learn the system, right, to learn the actual CRM is where we're like, oh my God, this is too much.
Yeah, and that's the other problem, right? And we try to keep things as simple as possible. Like we're already overwhelmed with prospecting and handling transactions and dealing with the day-to-day process when it comes to working with a client, whether it be a buyer or seller, that the last thing we want is add more stuff to our plate. We're trying to subtract, and that's the purpose of CRMs, is subtracting, delegating some of that follow-up, some of that nurturing to a system that's going to do it automated, right? And that's why if a CRM costs you $300 a month or $400 or $200, that may seem expensive, but if you hired somebody, you're not hiring anybody, especially in today's market, right?
To do half of the things that it does
for less than $36,000. So is it worth hiring somebody for $3,000 a month, or just getting a CRM that's going to do exactly that for $300 a month, or $200, or $100, or $69, whatever the case may be?
True.
So being efficient not only with your time but with your money is also important. Look, what are the benefits? Saves time, right? Saves time and saves what? Effort. That's important. Like, what are the benefits for you?
Saves time and effort.
Well,
it's doing
besides what I just said.
Oh, yeah. It just. It's just exactly what you said. It saves time and effort. Like I don't have to. I don't feel like I have to follow up with all my past clients.
So time. What I'm saying is time management, right? So if it's saving time and if
and here's the thing: a CRM is not an excuse not to pick up the phone.
I like that. Yeah.
And call your lead or your client.
So what's your
excuse? It's not an excuse. Shut up. It's not an excuse. So it shouldn't be substituted.
Correct. I agree.
Right? Like it's just a system to help.
Correct.
But that's not the only thing you should do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely agree. Again, another benefit, increasing revenue. We spoke about that. Another benefit is improving your social media marketing. I wouldn't say improving social media marketing. I know that I have that on the slide, but it's improving how frequently you are posting on social media. Like, I have this conversation very often with agents in and out of our brokerage, and and especially new agents that are coming in the door, and they're like, "Hey, you guys provide a website because so and so provides a website," and I laugh. I'm like,
"Oh, I get a website on Outbound Engine."
Do you?
Yeah.
All right, cool. But what I'm saying is the purpose of this is that social media, digital marketing, that's where you need to have a pretty big footprint. You can compete with anybody there in that space, at least for now. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You can't compete with a website versus Zillow, versus Realtor.com, versus Zerpo, versus
Zerpo,
ZBuyer. They're spending millions of dollars every month on search engine optimization. How are you going to compete? It's going to be very difficult, right? So don't focus on a website, focus on social media presence, because that's important. And if you're going to focus on social media, you need to post very often, right? You have to be consistent and make sure your content is consumable. Like, don't post up just to post up. If it's not consumable content, then don't bother.
It also needs to look nice.
It needs, I agree with that. It needs to look professional, it needs to look nice. But, and I'm a big believer that social media should consist mostly right now of video, because I think that's what is really engaging the audience. I notice the difference when I post a video versus just a post, a regular post. I get usually 4 times the amount of engagement.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I do. Anyway, certain CRMs, for example, will boost lead generation, like Sync, for example, Brivity, Boomtown, Salesforce. You can actually create websites, or actually those systems, you can have it where they will create a website, a landing page for you, and through that landing page, through search engine optimization, it's going to start driving traffic through your landing page, and you're going to get leads.
Yeah.
We get hundreds of leads every month.
Yeah.
Through one of our platforms. I don't want to mention it, but it's a very good one. But it's one of the 4 that I just mentioned.
Don't give our secrets away.
Yeah, I'm going to give it away. Outbound Engine.
No.
It's not. And it also helps you track, like, the last time you had a conversation and what was the conversation. Like, lead nurturing is extremely important. The ability to pick up the phone with your past client or a current lead and know exactly where you left off in a conversation. I think that is tremendous.
You need to have great notes in your CRM, right?
Yeah, and Lauren spoke about that yesterday.
She did.
And she was right. And the reason why you need to have great notes is because you have to start extracting like real estate talk.
Yeah,
and be more personal.
Exactly. To be honest, I don't dive right into real estate when I meet people, right? And I'm not like, I don't shove down their throat that I'm a real estate
What do you guys
agent.
talk about? Chocolate?
I don't know anything, but like, you just ask questions and you get to know them, right? It's all, I don't know. I just feel that people get tired of hearing about, I'm a realtor, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
It's annoying.
It is.
Like, call me and say something different.
Yeah.
Hey, you went to Miami last week, 2 weekends ago. How was that? Oh, where'd you go? What'd you do? Right?
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't be all salesy.
You should be building relationships.
Yeah. And so on the CRM, whatever CRM that you use, you should be taking notes. Like, okay, what did they tell me in this conversation? Oh, they're going to visit, their aunt, up in, Canada.
Yeah.
So that when you call them the next time, start with that.
And
they're
they
going to
don't
be
know.
like, oh my God, they remembered.
Yeah, and exactly. They don't know you're writing notes. They're going to be like, oh my God, they remembered. They actually,
Until they hear the
they're genuinely interested in me, right? So that's important. So what are some other benefits, right? Keeping you organized.
Yeah,
right?
it keeps you organized. It tracks your behavior. Transaction management, which is, like I said, what I use Monday.com for. I mean, really, it's just to keep you organized and stay on top of your shit. Can I say that?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
This podcast, you could say that.
Okay.
Maybe in another podcast, you can't. And there's a lot of functionalities when it comes to CRMs. What do you need it to do, right? The best one I love right now with Follow Up Boss, for example, is the text messages that it will automatically, if you obviously customize it that way, it'll automatically send a text message to the lead that you get. It could be anything you want. Hey, Melissa, it's Mike. I saw that you were looking at a couple of properties on my site. What's a good time for us to talk? Something very simple, right?
Yeah.
So it keeps
that saves a lot of time.
Absolutely. It keeps the lead engaged with you, right? And it does it automatically and it does it quick. So speed to lead is something that's extremely important in our industry. So that solves for that as well, right? And I have conversations every day about real estate. And to me, the most important part about real estate, or one of the most important parts, because there's a lot of moving parts that are important, but it's lead generation, right? Lead generation is a good portion of what we do. Whether you pay for it or you organically, create them, right? You can't survive without it, right? And if you're getting referrals from a client,
you need to have a mix of everything.
Correct.
It's
if you're
not
getting
just one.
You
should
some
pay
are
for
funnels.
leads, right? You should pay for leads. You should, nurture your sphere and work on getting referrals. Stay in touch with your past clients. It should be a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
It's not just one thing.
Yeah, and then look, there's other functionalities to it: social media campaigns, drip campaigns, email campaigns. Certain automations, lead nurturing. Reminders. Right? Some of us are awful at doing certain things, like, oh, I'm going to call this person tomorrow, and then we forget. So with CRM, you can create reminders, when to call. That's very important in our business as well as follow up.
Yeah, because how many times do people say, I have one today, actually. I've been trying to get in touch with this lead for 4 days. And she said, all right, listen, call me on this day at this time. But it's 4 days out.
Yeah.
So I'll have a reminder now that's set to call her.
Oh, good.
So I don't forget.
I'm glad you're a decent real estate agent.
Mike, shut up.
Built-in lead platforms, right? You can sync your Zillow, your Realtor.com, and mostly all lead platforms. There's well over 50 of them into the more sophisticated CRMs, which that's important as well. And then if you have a team, you can actually have leads that are round robin to your team or broadcasted. First one to pick it up or to call has it, or the first one to claim it, or it's round robin where if you don't pick it up, right, it goes, for 5 minutes, it goes to somebody else. So those are some of the automations and integrations that these CRMs have. And then again, the top 3 things we already mentioned, staying top of mind. That's extremely important. That's really what this is about, staying top of mind. So that way you increase your revenue and being efficient with your time management. You can't, if you're already spending 6, 7, 8 hours per day working on your business and in your business, because there's a difference, right? The last thing you want to do is now nurture your leads on your CRM manually.
Yeah.
It's doing it automatically.
It's very hard to do that.
Extremely difficult. So this is delegating a lot of that inefficient processes, in a more efficient way, right? So that's important. So CRM's out there for those who want to know which ones are good, which ones are out there.
That's only like 12 of them.
Yeah.
Out of like the 3,000. No.
Yeah. Well, there's hundreds, right? But, there's some of them, Pipedrive, right? Follow Up Boss, Brevity, Boomtown Sync,
I think
Salesforce.
It's just really what you want it to do.
Correct.
And how intricate you want it to be.
Yeah.
It's, there's no right or wrong one. There really isn't. It's just what you prefer.
Yeah. And recommendation is I've been on, I don't know, maybe 20 different demo calls with 20 different companies. Get on as many as you can. I've been on calls with Line Desk, Follow Up Boss, Brevity, Boomtown, Sync, Salesforce, KV Core. They're all good.
Lion's Desk, I think.
I did it for like a split second.
Oh.
I don't want to talk bad about them, but it just wasn't a good fit for me.
Because you have commitment issues.
Yeah. If you married with 2 kids, I guess so. So the most important thing here is to really ask yourself a couple of questions. Like, when you're asking yourself which one to use, then you need to ask yourself, well, what do I need it to solve? Right? What do I need it to solve? How intricate do I need it to be? How many automations do you need? How many leads do you have? Like if you have thousands of leads, then you need a sophisticated system.
Yeah.
Now, if you're working with 2 clients like Melissa, then you need something. You need something like Outbound Engine, right? Not as sophisticated, where it's very simple. It does what it's supposed to do. It requires zero attention from you. It's always going to do something for you automated. I'm just joking. And then look, what's my budget? That's very important. Look, if you can only allocate $50 a month, then you're not going to be able to get a very sophisticated one. But there are some really good ones for $50 or less, right? So there are some really expensive ones for $100 or more, or $69 like Follow Up Boss. Brevity's a couple $100. You have Boomtown, a couple $100. KV Core's a couple $100.
Never even heard of that one.
It's a good one. Salesforce, a couple $100. That's also a good one. And what else? Boomtown Sync, Salesforce. I mentioned a couple of them that are really, really good. Yeah,
Brevity.
those are good, but they're sophisticated. They're very intricate.
Those are the more expensive ones.
So yeah, and then you have ones that are not that expensive. We mentioned before. Which one's the free one? Zillow.
Zillow, yeah.
Yeah, Zillow's free, but it doesn't have automations.
Right.
But in the beginning, it's better to have something than not to have anything.
Exactly.
Right, and especially if you push all your your leads, your clients to use Zillow, that might be good. You don't even need to push them because 9 out of 10 are going to be on it anyway. That's just the reality. Don't fight the machine. Zillow's the machine. Don't fight it, right? Because it's proven itself. It's got the infrastructure. It's there. It's real. It's going to be here for a very, very long time. Yeah. It's going to outlive all of us in terms of real estate. That's just the reality of it, right? So instead of trying to fight those type of machines, leverage it. And that's how you leverage it. Go on their CRM and use it. I know people that pay hundreds of dollars to be on sophisticated CRMs, and they still have Zillow because they know their client's on it. So they want to make sure that if their client likes the property, they are on top of it. Oh, they like this property. Let me give them a call about it. Right? Hey, do you want to? I just saw that you liked 1265.
I don't even tell them that.
When you
I
want
want them to think that I'm reading their mind.
Yeah, well, they're going to figure it out sooner or later, right? And look, prices are, like I mentioned, free. Some of them are as low as $10 or $19, and some of them are as expensive as $500 to $1,000.
$400 a month is a lot of money.
Well, that's $4,800 a year if you just started in the industry, right? And this is your full-time gig, and you don't have another job to subsidize some of these costs. You might be thinking about, all right, do I really need to allocate $400 a month on a CRM? Maybe you don't. And I'm a big believer you do not. Why do I say that? Because I spent years and years and years in the beginning without a CRM. I had an Excel spreadsheet. Now, I'm not saying to do that.
That's why you're not a realtor anymore.
Exactly. That's why I'm not a realtor anymore. I'm not saying to do it. But what I'm saying is, right, you should really explore a CRM out there that's, very inexpensive. That's going to do what you need it to do for this current moment in the juncture of your real estate career.
And it doesn't have to be only one. Like, I have more than one.
Yeah, but what are you spending? Outbound Engine is like $100 and change.
Outbound Engine is $250.
Wow. Okay, so $250.
It's not $100 and change.
Just FYI, when I said I was going to leave them, they called me back and they gave me like $100 discount per month.
All right, I'm going to call them and say
that's a true story.
I'm going to tell them I'm going to leave them. Yeah. But I like, so Outbound Engine, Monday.com.
Mm-hmm.
Monday.com is $60.
Okay.
Outbound Engine is $250.
All right, so $250,
some over $300. Yeah.
Yeah. I know you don't know how to do math, but it's 310
$310
per month.
per month. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's.
But they both do different things.
Understood. But if you're brand new, what are you going to do? Let's say you don't have 300 and change to spend, or you don't want to.
I'm gonna use an Excel spreadsheet if I really don't have the money.
Yeah. Or wait.
And I'm gonna have to manually do these things.
But wait, I used to use. They're not in business anymore. I used to use Contactually. It used to be like $24.99 a month. That was affordable, and it did exactly what I needed to do at the time. So and Contactually is not in business anymore. Compass bought that, and that's synced like literally like a year and a half later. Literally. They bought it for millions of dollars.
You can sign up for something like Monday.com where it sets reminders.
Yeah, but there's other ones that are less expensive. You have Wise Agents.
And Zoho for $14.
Yeah, it is $14. $14 a month does exactly what you needed to do right in the beginning. Why not? Right? And if you're the type of real estate agent that your client relationship management system is this, like picking up the phone and calling your clients all the time, leads and stuff, some people do that. Great. Then you don't need something very sophisticated. If you feel that's your strong suit, why not? Because I'm a big believer like getting people on the phone and talking to them and them hearing your voice over and over and over is a great thing. I think the ROI there, especially for somebody who values building a relationship, is good.
And that's
unless you got to hear Melissa's voice over and over and over, then I can see that being a problem.
Well, and that's why I said CRMs are not to substitute you actually doing those things. You still need to pick up the phone.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know
you're right about that. You need to pick up the phone. You need to build those, relationships. That's part of nurturing as well.
Yeah.
But if you're a high profile agent or a high producing agent, right? And you're doing 40, 50 transactions like yourself, obviously, right?
Oh, so guys, I went from doing 2 to 40 or 50 now.
You're close to 40 this year, right? So you have to figure out how to leverage technology, how to leverage CRMs. And that's the whole purpose of it. Time management, working efficiently, that's important, right? You're not going to be able to have look, can you? Yes. But I think it's going to be very difficult if you're out there showing houses a lot, right? Always in appointments. It's going to be difficult for you to, number one, have the time. Number two, have the energy to want to pick up the phone and call everybody on a consistent basis, right? That becomes a little difficult. And here's the other problem.
You might forget.
You may forget and you might miss somebody or you may miss a couple of people. So with CRM, you're not going to forget anybody. Right?
No.
The machine is always better than the human. That's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
You as the human, you just have to figure out how you're going to automate everything for you based on what customizations you want. Anything else?
No, that's it. You covered all of it.
Okay.
Chatty Cathy?
No, I love CRMs. I really do. I'm actually going to do a training on it on the 22nd. And, I'm a big believer that from a revenue standpoint, for longevity in this business, you need it. You need it to stay top of mind. You have to do it. If you're an agent like myself, who's had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of transactions, it becomes extremely difficult for you to nurture, relationships, right? And some people, they're okay with receiving an email from you and a text message, an automated text message, an automated email from you from time to time. They still feel like they're important in your life, right? Now, what I'm saying is, and you're right, don't substitute, that face-to-face relationship or over-the-phone relationship. What I'm saying is you don't need to call them 4, 5, 6 times a year. Maybe you only call them twice or 3 times, right? Because now you're being top of mind because of the automations, right? So that's important. Guys, if you like this podcast, please go and like and subscribe to Agents Rock.